Thank you, Victoria. My name is Stefania Zardini Lacedelli, and I'm a digital heritage researcher and a museum educator. This research project we are going to present stems from a research period at Duke University, where I developed a multimedia platform for the Mario Rimoldi Modern Art Museum, where I worked for 5 years as the head of education. The name of the platform, MQUADRO, refers to a museum elevated to the square, and it means the idea underlying this work is that digital technology expands the space for both relations and content and increase the point of access to the cultural experience. So, as we can see in this slide, MQUADRO is a prototype, is a model that can be applied to other museums, to different kinds of museums, because it is designed to receive contributions from different kinds of public. So, from online users, we will show you in a few moments, to students and teachers, from scholars to museum professionals. So thanks to these chromatic galleries and interactive archives and other kind of multimedia content, we involve, engage the public in the knowledge production processes.
My name is Giacomo Pompanin. I'm a professional photographer, and I founded with Stefania and at Multimedia, which is a heritage studio that aims to foster the development of digital application in cultural fields. I contributed to MQUADRO platform doing this multimedia application, the Roccia, for an exhibit we held at the Paleontological Museum in Cortina d'Ampezzo, our hometown. This app is an example of multimedia application. How can multimedia application can make the museum content more accessible in different ways? Thanks to this dedicated tablet guide, a visitor can delve into a cultural context of time and discover the fantastic story of two scientists, Zardini, as we can see on the screen, and the Dolomier, the scientist who discovered the Dolomitic rock. As Stefania said before, new tools and visual representation technique allow to see and understand both the object and the cultural and social and historical context in different ways, and relation with different types of media. In this sense, the experience of aura is augmented. And here we can see a quotation of Victoria Sabo experience in our museum in Cortina. I had spent more time than most looking at the individual images, and so I felt a sense of internal ownership and anticipatory memory. But exploring the interactive guide and spending time with the image virtually propelled me to experience the aura of the original objects.
This DRCAP is an example of how digital technology can expand the content and the context of a cultural object, but why it's so important to include also the emotions, perceptions, and imagination of people and of our public. Well, we can see the webvolution waves, the so-called webvolution waves. It's a symbol of the knowledge revolution, because the web, the internet and social platform has transformed the web into a platform for user-generated content. And so this is an important point for museums, because digital revolution has shifted the museum focus from transmitting knowledge to people to the meaning people, and we can see the knowledge and the transmission, the traditional way of conceiving this transmission of knowledge, and to a platform, so to the meaning people make from their experience. And so the MQUADRO model has developed also other kinds of digital participatory activity, and we will present you a particular one, and we are still developing this digital tool. We started from this question, so how can museum integrate personal meanings and everyday knowledge to the individuals in the institutionalized museum knowledge? So how can a museum include this and stimulate the imagination of people? So we need a universal language, and the language is music. And in fact, this digital participatory tool takes advantage of one of the most effective social media practices, music sharing. So music is a universal language and allow us to share emotion and interpretation. So now we will go to another platform, which is Facebook. In fact, MQUADRO is a multi-platform. We use MQUADRO as a metaphor. And for example, this is an example of this musical painting tool. We ask people to suggest a music looking at a virtual image of a painting, and you can see that the answers of this virtual community, which is a real life experience, life and community experience. Everyone suggests a musical piece associated to the painting, and also explain his or her motivation, and so we can share interpretations and emotion in the same way.
Let's go back here. This digital participatory tool is a technology that can embrace the entire spectrum of heritage collection, from science museum to art museums. Here we can see our new project is about linking those two kind of heritage. So here we can see that the Pinturicchio masterpiece linked to a thin section of a dolomitic rock. You can see the fossil inside there, and here, and as you can see here, the quantitative analysis of the first musical painting, the number of participants and conversation around this activity demonstrate that the real community is created around this participatory experience. We received more than 70 musical comments and over 70,000 views. These online users can be considered as museum visitors, and this activity is the beginning of a major research project that can investigate the role of emotion and music sharing on online access to museums. And now, if it works, we can see a video that explains. No.
Where and when the museum experience begins. How many points of